So, you want to make a flare. That's it. There's no joke this time, guys. Hey guys, welcome back to TutsByKai. I'm Kai, and today we are back in Blender 2.81 once again, taking a look at some flares in Eevee here and in other. It works in cycles. It works everywhere because we're going to be doing this in the Compositor today. We're not going to be doing this live, real time in the actual scene. So, let's get started. I want to grab Suzanne. I'm going to delete on default cube. I'm sorry. But I want something with a little bit more detail than default cube today. So, Shift A to add in Suzanne the monkey. And I'm just going to double tap R to rotate her a little bit like that. Middle mouse button to pan around my scene, clicking it. And I'm going to select our lamp here, go to the lamp tab, and then just go to power and add a 0 on the end of it, just so we got super brightness. If we go to render viewport shading, you can see now it's super bright instead of like that. All right, cool. I want it to be more extreme. Now, with Suzanne selected, I'm going to go ahead and go to Object, Shade Smooth, and I'm also going to go to Modifier tab and add in a subdivision surface. Just bump it up to 2. Just get all that out the way real quick. That has nothing to do with the flares. All right, cool. Next thing's next. I'm going to go ahead and hit Render. Render image, because we have to actually render an image out first to be able to see what's going on. So I'm going to close that. Now that we have that rendered, we're all good and set to go. I'm going to go up to Compositing, and then I'm going to just drop down this timeline because we don't need that. We don't need that piece at all. So I'm going to get rid of the side toolbar as well, and we're going to actually, there we go. I'm going to hit Shift A. Actually, we're going to hit Use Nodes first. Sorry. So we're going to open these up. Like that, use nodes up here. Make sure backdrop is checked. It is by default nowadays. Hit Shift A, search for a viewer node, and grab just viewer, not split viewer. And we're just gonna hook that up into. We're gonna take the one from that's going into the composite and hook up the viewer nodes just so we can see what we're doing. And we're just gonna open this up a little bit and hit Shift A and search for glare. Now this glare is gonna go boom right there. And now you can see instantly we got some good stuff here. But these are like 4 streaks. These are like star streaks. So we can change that by changing the streaks to 2. Now you got some back and forth ones, some liney ones. You can change the angle of them. You can change the threshold. That means you know how if something's brighter, then it'll make flares with it. If something's not as bright, then it'll not make flares. So if you put it on 0, then it'll take everything that has any kind of lightness and make it a streak. And if you put it on like 2, then it'll do less. And then if you put it on like 200, it won't do anything at all. So threshold default on 1, regular streaky streaks. You can change with the color module here, which is pretty cool. Add some color to it, which is like a glitch type of thing, which is really awesome. Completely different effect. And you can also change it from medium quality to low quality, which makes them bigger and a little bit more blurry. Or you can change it to high, which makes them smaller, and high, which makes them smaller and much clearer. But I like leaving it on medium sometimes because it's a nice in between the clarity and how big they are. So we'll just leave it on medium for today. You can change the iterations as well. Get a couple different looks in here. Yeah, so that's that. We can change this from streaks, which is going to be a really cool thing. We can change this to ghosts, and you can see now we have some really awesome looking some ghosty type effects here, where it's kind of duplicating Suzanne's face out and kind of blurring it and ghosting it around. Now, if we were to move this, if this was an animation, this would actually move around in real time. Not in real time, but it would move around, you know, once the animation is finished, and it's really cool looking. We can turn the mix up and down. The mix is pretty much just, hey, do you want it just to be the effect, or do you want it to be not the effect at all, or do you want it to be a mixture of both of them? So, pretty cool stuff. Threshold, same thing with the other one. It's ghosting everything in the scene. Now, it's not ghosting anything. We can also do simple star, which isn't my favorite. I don't really like the way it looks. It looks like it's too much to me. But you could do it if you want. It's pretty much just like a the plus, like a plus, but just rotated like a star. That's why it's called that. Great job, Kai. We can also do fog glow, which is one of my favorite ones. This was what I used to use for bloom before we had this amazing option over here, but it's not really useful anymore unless you really want to do it just after in the compositing. But yeah, it used to be really great, but now we have this amazing bloom feature over here. We don't need this at all. But you can do the same thing. Medium, low, high. Low makes it bigger, high makes it smaller and clearer, obviously. And then threshold, same thing. But the coolest one of these is I believe either ghosts or come on now, come on, compositing down here. Come on! There you go. Either ghosts or streaks. Streaks is really awesome as well. So either ghosts or streaks usually is pretty cool. Let me put that back up to maybe 4, maybe 5. You see, if I turn the fade up, the fade will make this bigger or smaller, which is just the coolest thing. So you have a little bit of glitch, a little bit more glitch, a lot of glitch, and that is just super cool. Now you know how they did the Earth, Wind, and Fire video. September. That's a great song, by the way. We're going to go ahead and just and leave it like this, because I really like the way this looks. It looks pretty cool. Turn the color modulation down a little bit so it's not as saturated. Maybe so it's not as saturated. Just a little bit of color in there. I don't know. Looks really cool. Hope you ladies and gentlemen enjoyed it. I will see you in the next one, but until then, bye-bye.